Hey guys, it's Libby, and I'm getting back in the swing of things by doing another TBR video. This is my TBR for Nonfiction November, which is a month-long readathon in November about reading nonfiction. This was created by a book Olive several years ago, and this will be my second year of participating. There are other co-hosts this year. One of them is Andrea from Infinite Text. I don't remember who the other people are. All that you need to do to participate in this readathon is to read one work of nonfiction sometime in November, but they do give you 4 prompts if you want something to sort of direct your reading, and I do like the prompts, so I am going to be I actually had a super fun time figuring out like which of my nonfiction books could possibly work, and I feel like I have a lot of backups if, you know, one of these for some reason isn't working for me. But the prompts this year are time, movement, buzz, and discovery. So for time, I am going to be reading The Gifts of the Jews, How a Tribe of Desert Nomads Changed the Way Everyone Thinks and Feels by Thomas Cahill. I read the other book that he wrote in this Hinges of History series, or the first book that he wrote in this series, How the Irish Saved Civilization, for Nonfiction November last year, so I was kind of glad I was able to make this one work. And I actually didn't initially think of this one for time, but as I was reading the back, I realized that that's actually definitely what it is about. So this is about sort of early Jewish thought and how it has influenced, you know, global thought. And based on the back cover text, it sounds like Cahill's thesis is that the primary way a tribe of desert nomads change the way everyone thinks and feels is through a different conception of how time works, or how we sort of tell the story of time, and that is to tell time as a story. So I'll just read on the back. It says, within the matrix of ancient religions and philosophies, life was seen as part of an endless cycle of birth and death. Time was like a wheel spinning irrevocably until ancient Jews began to see time differently, as a narrative whose triumphant conclusion would come in the future. So we move from cyclical time to linear time. So I think this is actually going to work quite well for time. For movement, I am going with a pop work on one of my favorite academic genres, and that is linguistics. I'm going to be reading Our Magnificent Bastard Tongue, The Untold History of English by John McWhorter. I actually also read a book of John McWhorter's for last Nonfiction November. Maybe these two will appear in future Nonfiction Novembers. It is possible, knowing me. I chose this for movement because the reason Our Magnificent Tongue is a bastard is because of different waves of people arriving or invading the British Isles. So all of the complicated, mainly vocabulary, but also grammar of English is due to the movement of peoples. So I think we are going to get some linguistic stuff about the actual language, but I think we're also going to have to get a little bit of history about like who was invading what when. When I saw the prompt buzz, I immediately knew which of my books I was going to be reading for that. That's another linguistics book, Because Internet: Understanding the New Rules of Language by Gretchen McCulloch. I believe that this has some of the elements you would expect to find in a grammar, but also has a lot of discussion of sociolinguistics about how language is changing due to the internet. And for the discovery prompt, I decided to go with an audiobook because I wanted to get at least one of those in this Nonfiction November, because I am going to be traveling at the end of the month, and I would rather have an audiobook which weighs nothing, as opposed to a book which weighs more than nothing. So I've decided on the audiobook for Barracoon, The Story of the Last Black Cargo by Zora Neale Hurston. And the discovery element doesn't have anything to do with the actual text of the book. It has to do with the fact that this book was unpublished for decades, kind of actually working up to a century, and it was finally published in 2018. This is based on Hurston's, it's a nonfiction work based on her anthropological field work, specifically her interviews with Cujo Lewis, who is one of the last surviving people to have survived the Middle Passage, which was the boat trip from Africa to the United States, which brought slaves over. So there's the set. I'm feeling very excited about this nonfiction November, and the only reason that I don't wish it was November right now is because then it wouldn't be Victober. Why do there have to be so many good fall readathons? Okay, thank you guys very much for watching. I will see you later.